Hello everybody, hello. I'm here with the beautiful Paula Ivy.
Hi.
Who has done a little bit of mentoring with me in the past, and I thought she'd be a great person to have a chat with about confidence, building your confidence, acknowledging the doubt, and getting a bit of, I think it's often a really good thing to be able to have a look at someone else's experience with the doubt, because it's something that we battle kind of constantly when we're talking about intuitive work. So Paula's going to have a chat with us today about their intuition. So thank you, Paula, for joining us. You are awesome.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me in here. I'm so excited.
Yeah. So with intuition, obviously everybody's going to get different little downloads, little bits of information at the beginning. So what were you getting that was the thing that made you go, I think I might be intuitive? I don't know. Is that a thing?
Do you know what? That's a really, really great question, because I always thought there were certain people who were intuitives.
Yeah,
and I wasn't one of them.
Let's call it bullshit on that right away. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. Like, I, for a long time, thought, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if I was one of those intuitive people that could get like downloads for people, and I could intuitively guide them and help them with their business and like get senses for things and like.
Because you do coaching, right?
Yeah,
coaching,
so I do.
And photography and all sorts of things.
Yeah, so the main part of my business and why people mostly come and do coaching and mentoring with me is because we work on the photography, on like visually representing your brand and who you are, and really drawing out like what your vibe is and your energy is, and how we can create and craft photos that really help represent that through your brand and for your business and your marketing and your launches and all those sorts of things, and for your posts. But then also the other big part of my work, which is like the whole thing that supports that, is really connecting to who you are as a person and really loving your body and fully expressing yourself, like not holding back because you're worried about how you look and you're like, oh, I'd love to take photos like that, but I'm not photogenic and I don't feel good in front of the camera and all these sorts of things. So when people come and work with me, I love really feeling into their energy, and I didn't realize how intuitive I was naturally doing it.
Yeah,
and
it's
not actually
really common. It's really common.
Yeah, and then when I started working with you, you're like, you're so intuitive, and I'm like, what? I am? I'm doing it. And she's like, yeah, you're doing it. I'm like, how am I doing that? Exactly. I don't get it, because I don't think that I am.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's exactly why I wanted to talk to you today, is that. And so Paula obviously is continuing doing her work. She's to continue doing the photography and the helping people step into their confidence, really. And it's absolutely genius zone stuff for you. Like, you're very, very good at it. But everything can go to the next level, right? Everything can be improved. And so to tune in energetically or understand that that's what you're doing and utilize that more, that puts a whole new spin on things. So I've worked with people that have been bloody CEOs of organizations, and it doesn't matter what you're doing or where you're doing it. There's always an opportunity. If your energy is good or you're looking to expand your intuition, it is always going to have a beautiful positive flow on effect for yourself and people around you. So it's a really, really, genuinely, I say to people all the time, everybody's intuitive, and I absolutely, truly believe that. But it's just that you're doing it and you don't realize. So I guess it's just stepping into that, because every now and then you go, oh fuck, was that a thing? I'm not sure. Was that? I don't know.
Yeah.
And we will dismiss it and we'll logic the shit out of it so it goes away, so that we don't. So then we go, oh, that's better. I am normal. We're all striving for normal, right?
It's kind of like, you kind of like, I don't know, you get this inner, like you get the intuitive come through and the idea, but it's almost like in order to, because it kind of pushes you out of your comfort zone, but in order to kind of resolve that, oh my God, so you kind of like logically think your way out of it and think, oh, that's better, I don't have to do it because it wasn't a very smart idea. It was just me being an idiot, or it was me just trying to copy somebody else, or like, you kind of like talk yourself out of it, because then you're like, oh, I can just keep going and doing the same thing and hoping it will get better and all of that, whereas your intuition is really like wanting you to expand more and get deeper in with your messaging and the work that you do and how you help people and how you see the world and your relationships and everything about your whole being. It's helping expand you on so many levels that I think I love how you said that, because it's like this, you get that and then your body just kind of goes, but just let's keep things the same. That's a dumb idea. What the hell did you think of that? That's so stupid. Nobody's going to like that. Like, that's what happens.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. And we accidentally stay in our comfort zones. Even when we're telling ourselves we want to expand, we want to grow, our nature, our human nature will try and keep us in our comfort zone. It's just how it works. It's that fear barrier, blah, blah thing that we've got to try and push through. Yeah, all stuff. Of that. So rest assured that if you are doubting your intuition at the moment, it is there. I promise you it is there. It's just that you need that confirmation. So we worked together in a mentoring capacity, didn't we, for a month? And Paula was she blown away by the fact that just being able to check in with me and go, is that a thing? Or I would contact her and go, do you do this as well? You know, and she would go, oh my God, I do. I didn't know that was a thing. And so there'll be shitloads of stuff that you are doing already that is intuitive and can be expanded that you're not aware of. So just start to notice that. So however you are choosing to expand your intuition, if you're in this group, there's chances are that's what you want to do. You want to expand what you do or learn more or understand it better, more deeply. But it's not as hard as you think it is. So the message today is kind of stop fucking around and do what you need to do to improve it. So whether that's getting a session with me or someone else to step up or to tune in to help you kind of, because we put a lot of barriers in front of ourselves, don't we, about what I can and can't do. So like you said, wouldn't it be good to be intuitive while you're sitting there being intuitive?
Yeah.
But to have someone else just come and go, well, that's not a thing. It's like that, what's that game that you flip the Guess Who game?
Oh, yeah.
You flip it down.
We have that. I've seen it.
Yeah. You know, well, that's not a thing and that's not a thing and don't worry about that and this isn't there. So that you can go, there you go, there's your genius zone. This is how it's going to be easier for you to expand what you do. So sometimes you need that clarification. Sometimes you need that guidance to grow your confidence and be able to receive the messages more clearly so that then you can take the next step and the next step. Because the more clearly the messages come through, the quicker your intuition grows. But it's that catch-22 situation where if you're chopping yourself off at the start, then we're going to go back to the start again. Oh no, I'm going back to the start again. But you take a step, it's like, oh well, I have to take a step and I have to take a step. And then all of a sudden, all of this stuff opens up in a beautiful way that is just so fucking easy. People, I think that's a big thing that happens, and whether it's mentoring or sessions or just chatting with people, like how quickly this stuff can develop, because you blew your own mind. I remember you going, oh my God, repeatedly, at how quickly.
So many times. So many times, because it's so obvious when you actually stop thinking about it. Like usually we say it's so obvious when I thought about it, but like when you stop thinking about it, it's like staring you right in the face, and you're like, oh, that's what it's been trying to tell me all along. And it's really important that the action to like actually take a step towards it. That's really important, because so often it would be like the idea, like the thing would come through, and then all of a sudden I have to think about how to do that and where to do that and like kind of plan it first before I take the step. But how intuition works for what I found most helpful is like, I don't need to know all of that. I just take a step towards it, and then something else happens. I'm like, I take a step towards that. Like it's so much easier and simpler and less draining of energy to do that rather than try to like, foolproof your plan and try to make it as safe as possible, and like all of the things that your mind and your nervous system and everything tries to help you with, because they're like, okay, cool, new idea, have you thought about this, should we do it like this, where do we want to go, like all of that is when you drop all of that and you just go, oh yeah, I just take a step towards that. Like it just makes it so much easier, and you're like, I feel like I can breathe and I don't need to worry about half of the stuff that I had thought that I needed to worry about.
Yeah.
Because it actually doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. But how nice is it just to have someone hold your hand and go, no, come on.
Absolutely.
Because really, genuinely with intuition, it's like if you're at the beginning of that expansion and that understanding of what you do and how you do it, it's like a little kid starting school. Like everyone around you, your angels and guides know that you are ready. But you walk in, you've gone from kinder into the school gate and gone, oh, fuck. I can't do this. This is a whole new world. It's not. It's all your same mates from kinder all coming with you, and it's all, you know what I mean. Like there's no need to panic, and your parents are there, or your guardians, or whoever it was, going, no, you'll be right. And the teacher there to receive you and help you. And so expanding your intuition is very much like that. Except they're angels and guides. You just can't see the fucking things. So, but they are there, and they are wanting you to expand. So there's no coincidence that you've landed in this group. You've chosen to be in this group, but you've also been come across me for whatever reason to guide you to the new thing. So the new thing might be Paula. You know, who knows? This might be a stepping stone for you to grow your confidence in one way or another, whether you're working for yourself or you're working for wages, or you're, you know, owning and operating children, or whatever you're doing, wherever you're doing it. There's no limit to how much you can expand your intuition and use it for yourself in different ways. Remember though, I know I've told you this before, but I'll reiterate it again. It is often a really important thing to actually look back, like to go, oh, yeah, that was intuition. I can see that now, or I should have done that, or it would have been great if I had, you know, gone to that parking space in the supermarket car park because of this and this reason. Didn't realize at the time, now I do. Like that, looking back and remembering and acknowledging is really important. Not looking back going, fuck, why didn't I listen? That's terrible, I'm an idiot. It's looking back and going, oh, okay, thanks, I can see that now. So, and I know you did that lots of times with various things as well.
Yeah, because it's so interesting when you start consciously choosing to act when you get the intuition instead of like the default overthinking, and just go, oh no, that's what I'm going to take a step. Because I find that helps when my mind starts to chatter. I'm like, no, actually that was the first thing, let's pause that and we'll just take a step and see what happens, and then you can come in if you need to, sort of thing. But I found that the more that I did that, and then I would look at like, oh, okay, this is where we've come, the more that I would get these, I don't know, like I would think about things in the past. I'm like, oh, that's why that worked and that's why that didn't work. Like, especially with launches. Oh my gosh, if you have your own business and you are, you know, myself, I launch, you know, in-person things and online courses and mentoring and that sort of thing. And sometimes I will launch something and everybody wants to be in it. And you're like, whoa, oh my God, there was like, you know, people just coming in and just wanting the thing. And then other times I'll launch something and I think it's like the best thing ever. And I'm like, oh my God, I've just created this thing and it's so good. And it's like, I've gone through it with a fine-tooth comb and I'm like,
it's great.
Yeah, and I've like designed it. I'm like, and then nobody wants to join. I'm like, but I put so much time and effort into this. Why isn't it working? Because a lot of the time I was overthinking it, and the original spark or idea got layered on and with so many different filters of things of thinking that like the original seed of the idea just got suffocated, and it's not even the thing anymore. It's about something else. Yeah. So even from that respect, like being able to see that and working with you really opened my eyes up. I'm like, I just thought, you know, that's business. You just go up and down, and like some things work and some don't. And yeah, there are circumstances where, you know, you might launch something and it like totally was not the right audience or time or anything like that. But this is where you're trusting your intuition, because your intuition is going to let you know when to do things, what to do next. And so often, this is what I found, I just trust and take a step forward anyway, even when my logical brain's going, yeah, but that's not logically the next thing that you're supposed to be doing. If you do this is smarter, and like, you know, whatever. But your intuition is going to know. And it's so interesting that looking back, you're like, that's why that worked at that time when I thought it wasn't going to work, and I just did it anyway. Because like this thing that happened afterwards made it make sense in like the whole scheme of things, whereas I wouldn't have seen that if I hadn't have taken the action and done the thing before. Like there was no way to know that this was going to come next.
Yeah.
It's like when people like, oh,
I
I sold my house. I just like one day I woke up and I was like, oh, I want to live over here, and like they do it, and then, you know, after they've sold their house and moved out, something happens to the house and they're like, oh, thank God I did that. Yeah. But if they were logically thinking about it, they would have been like, oh, well, it's not the right time to sell, and like, you know, where would I go, and like so many things. And I guess we did the lap of Australia in 2019, and this was definitely an intuitive thing, because logically it didn't make sense for us to travel. Logically it didn't make, like we didn't have a car that could tow a caravan. We didn't even have a caravan. We'd never camped before as a family. We had 2 kids. My husband's job was how we made the majority of our money. My business was not at a point where I could sustain a certain amount of money for us to live off each month. Like it made no logical sense whatsoever. But there was something inside of me that just like, do it. Let's go travel. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but like, how do it? Let's go travel. And I'm like, okay. And so I kept, and I was working with a mentor at the time, and she was like, it wasn't Lindy, but it was a different mentor, and she knew that it was intuition, and like she's like, but you're doing it, like this is
Yeah.
what it is. And having somebody by your side while you do big things like that is so important, because you're going to have so much doubt, and your mind's going to try to want to make sense of it all. And I mean, it doesn't have to be big things like traveling around Australia for a year, or selling your house, like even just the day-to-day things. And I think that was really a beautiful thing, because I was in a place with my business where I was like, my launches aren't working, and like things are like, it feels really tight and kind of constricted. And when I was working with Lindy, I was like, because I'm trying to do the smart thing. I'm trying to do the thing that I think that I should be doing. I'm trying to do the thing like everybody else is doing. And it really strangled my creativity and not allowing me to expand my work. It was trying to like keep my work as it is and repeating things, and I'm like, that's just not what I'm here for.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what any of us are here
isn't it,
for.
to get in that loop? Like,
Yeah.
well,
Keep
that
it the
worked,
same.
do it
That
again.
worked. I'll do it
that
again.
worked.
And then I'm like,
there's no
why isn't
fear,
it
no
working
worry.
anymore?
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
what'll happen. So if you are lacking confidence in your intuition, don't worry. Everybody does, but there's definitely room for expansion in a whole lot of different ways. So, keep up, whatever practice you're doing, but look at other things that you can, if that practice, whatever you're doing, might have got you to a point, and now you need to jump it out and do bigger things and change things up a bit. So don't be scared to do that. It's a big leap. It can be a big leap, or it can be a big, either a big investment or a big trust in your own ability to get better. That's a big one as well, to go, but am I worthy of doing this or changing that? Or fucking yes, you are. Absolutely yes, you are. Please remember that. That's really important. So thank you so much, Paula. Thank you so much for joining us. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, awesome. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Thanks, Paula.
Thank you.